Hello again, this is Fiendish with the Dimension Touring Company with episode 9 of our From the Ground Up building series. Our place is almost done here, and then today I went through and I did some structural embellishment. As you can see, I've got stone corner posts set up here. Let's go ahead and just do this the easy way, and we'll go on a quick flight around the building. Get up above all these trees. This will also let us see if there's anything too much poking up above the ceiling. I expected the music boxes to be up here, but that's fine. Unless somebody has a Jeets Jumpmaster, they're not going to be able to get up there. And this gives us a good overall view of what we've done with the landscaping. And there it is. I like the aesthetics of the stone corner posts, especially against the limestone. And it does go all the way around. Close out this. And when I left off the last episode, we had just done one of the chairs in here, and we discussed how to make that chair and did a little demonstration of it. There's the love seat, which is nothing more than the set I already had for these chairs, with basically two of the chair sets put together minus one set of arms, and with the addition of an additional window just to bring those together. I've done most of the decorating in here. There's a few small pieces that are left. This is a clock I've used in my last 2 or 3 builds. I like it. It's simple. It's very easy. The clock numbers are desk scales, and the clock hands are iron pickaxes. Now we do have swords on a chain down here. They poke through. So there's the base on top to cover up those swords. And then wooden stands to make the body here. And I really like those items, and they fish up from still more, or your minions may be bringing those back. The tables are nothing more than the striped unlit braziers with green marble. This little vase right here is a pedestal gravestone with some flowers sunk in it. Now this bookcase, this is 2 mahogany bookcases, cleaned up to match my wood here. I want my color scheme to be the same, which means I'm going to disguise all of that. And then the slider is all planks, with the exception of these 2 little rectangles at the top. There's 1 or 2 sticking points on here, but mostly you can run up and down the ladder. We've got the dining room table made. And this little doohickey here is 2 seascape amphorae, resized. One is right side up, one is upside down. And then there's a blue lidded amphorae tucked in there to make it kind of like some kind of pot, some kind of centerpiece. I did the same thing on the sideboard over here in a slightly different configuration so that it looks a little different. I've started decorating the sideboard here. We have a plate, which is a shield and a violet urn mixed together, and then these goblets, which is a white candlestick and a Kalari vase copied and pasted on each other and end to end. Our fancy serving trays are some gravestones. Now when you use Toolbox, a lot of times when you start building large sets, what you'll find is that you may start to crash once the item limit gets high. Right now we're at 2171 of 2520, so I really needed to get those large sets added before then. which would be some of these lampshades, these chairs, and then upstairs in the bedroom. I did make one more addition to the kitchen with this box shelf, and we've got some kitchen herbs, a watering can, which is a silver stein, some metal poles, and a shield, and then this pot right here, which is a red clay amphorae and a blue lidded amphorae mixed together. This kitchen hasn't changed really since yesterday, except for the addition of that shelf. So we'll go see what's been done upstairs, and then we're going to make an umbrella to go in this little container here. So you can see this, the master suite is pretty much also done. I've got a vanity started here, made from open books, some wood planks, swords for my drawer handles. This leather worker's easel does a pretty good job of passing off as a hand mirror. These closets are some wide bookshelves with Tempest Bay doors, one right side up, one upside down, with some of my green runecraft vessels in here as the handles. And those are a great way to eat up a lot of physical space. They're very striking, so people will come run right over here and see how it was put together. Another little shelf, kind of like the one that's downstairs with the clock in it. We've got some treasure hoards, redwood planks, and wide bookcases. Made a little window seat here because it seemed kind of fitting that someone might want to sit here and look out this window. The end tables that kind of go along with the vanity. I don't have a mirror over the vanity because I've got this big mirror right here. And this big mirror is it's an oval mound of snow tucked into some granite cubes made into the shape of an oval, which you would do just like you would any circle or arch. Just add a couple more cubes that are right side up to lengthen out the legs. I put a black marble tile beneath it to try to make it stand out a little more. Now this bed, I've used it in another dimension and I had it saved, so I brought it in here, and I wanted to really get this set done first because this bed is it's 42 corner posts and 11 pillows, so the bed itself is more than 50 pieces. Plus 4 bookcases here to help make some kind of support for this bed. Now when I originally built the set, this was on a ground floor place. The legs here did poke through beneath the floor, so I raised it up a little bit and then built the step stool. We're going to make some pillows for this bed, and then that'll pretty much do it for in here. I want this room to have a lot of open space. Our bathroom is still closed off. I've got my scales placed to just add some candles in. And here's our guest bedroom, which is almost done too. We need to make another closet in here. And this is a sleigh bed that I've used a couple times now. And this is another fairly large set. This one it's 21 wood corner posts plus the bed. And you work these just like you would any other material for an arch. Only on this one, it's all enclosed by the things, and we still need to make some more pillows from in here. The bedside tables in here are crates of apples turned upside down. The lamp is a violet urn. There's a white candlestick in there actually providing illumination. And the lampshade is 13 open scrolls. for some reason, the way the center point is set on books and open scrolls, on a 15-degree angle, it takes 13 to go all the way around. Now if I want to go, let's go back downstairs. If I want to bring one of these patterns on these books all the way around, then I actually do need to use all 24 books. But in the interest of saving the item limit, it's only 13. 13 here. Any book is going to be 13. And also on this lamp, what's actually providing the light is a white candlestick. On these big lamps, I've got ever-glowing pagoda lanterns making the light itself. I like the flicker, but more importantly than the flicker, I like the warm cast that it gives to everything. It mixes with the air sky projector, and it really helps to give some texture to the plain stone walls, especially when mingled with the purple lights coming in from outside. And it adds a lot of definition to these grates and picks out a lot of the colors in that Storm Legion wall segment. This desk is 16 pieces, which is another reason why it's preloaded, and it's nothing more than wide and narrow bookcases all mingled together with swords again to make the handles for the desk drawers. Once we get done with the umbrella, we're going to make some more envelopes and a letter that would fit in those envelopes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up Toolbox, and for the umbrella, I'm going to use a bolt of red cloth. I'm going to scale it down, not quite to the minimum. I'm going to rotate it in the roll to 165, which makes it not quite upside down. And this is going to end up making us a cone shape. Okay, fixed our toolbox bug. We've copied this. We've set a rotation for 15 degrees in the pitch. And this one will require 24 bolts of cloth. Okay, I've dropped my last piece. I'm going to go through here and select them all, just like you would with any other kind of spin. The only difference is it's just going to make us a nice little cone shape. Offset each item and paste. There we go. Now this is a kind of wide thing, and you can see the toolbox is already starting to give me some problems here. So the handle of our umbrella is going to be this 3-tiered candelabra. We're going to shrink it down to make it a little bit more proportional for somebody's hand. Copy it. Let's see what we want to use for what would be the leg of the umbrella. And let me go grab some black marble. Okay, I've got some black marble poles, and now we're just going to copy and paste those in position. Raise it up just a little bit, and we're actually going to drop these down to minimum size. And I think, yep, we only need one. So I'm going to go ahead and close out Toolbox, because we're getting ready to move all of this stuff in one big group. I would like to use the bolts of gray cloth for this, but those, like so many other things, the underside, crap, is a facade, so when you turn those upside down, it really has a jagged, kind of ugly appearance. But the bolts of red cloth have a nice little pattern on them, and those sticks poking down at the bottom really help make it look nice. So we're going to visually center this. And then raise it back up so that take a step back so that we can make sure that the pole is covered without the light exposed. And we're going to take it, we're going to flip the whole thing upside down, kind of at an angle. And we're going to hide that little round, that kind of bulbous tip there anyways, by sticking it in here. Or actually, we'll just leave it upside down. And drop it down. Okay, we're going to readjust the sizing of this pot. So that way our little umbrella doesn't get swallowed by it. Okay, so with the urn resized, it's definitely much better now to be able to adjust our umbrella in here. And you can still see part of the candelabra, but, well, we can pound that off as part of the branches and just leave it at that. Little details like that aren't seen very often by most tourists. I like to add them just for kicks, because it makes me happy. So now, let's get to work on some letters. Now when I use a stone rectangle, and this one, I'll go ahead and use a limestone. And we want to shrink it down to its smallest size. I'm going to drop it down so that it is actually all the way on the desk. The bookcases have some collision, so you will have floaters unless you make sure to check them. Let's see. Green wood will work. Triangles are something that everybody has an abundance of. So we'll put that in right there. Kind of scooch it up a little bit. And then we'll take a limestone triangle and that's so that we can clearly tell the difference between the top and the bottom layer. There we go. Need to make this one just a little bit larger. And that's it. And if we want to do a wax seal, we take a pink urn all the way down to minimum size, flip it over, and sink it down so that just a very small amount shows through. With that, you want to do an incremental movement. Oh, crap. And that's what happens when you hit the absolute button. It sends it shooting off to try to make 0.001 in your dimension. So you hit the relative, and there we go. And you could even say that this has been an opened one, but we're not. We're going to take those, turn them in a random direction, and push it off to the side. And if I want one that's open, all I have to do is pretty much the exact same thing that I've already done. There we go. We'll just go ahead and use a piece of gray wood, make it minimum size. Now this time we're not going to add the triangle or a contrasting triangle. We're just going to go ahead and paste on a gray wood triangle, move it in position, size it so that the corners actually line up, and then tip it up. Like so. So there's that. And then to make the actual letter, it's just 3 rectangles. I always do this stuff at the default orientation first. And copy. And then paste the second one. Rotate it to the 90. Third one. Bring him up just a little. Make sure we select the right one. Fold it in. And fold that the other. You can either fold it the other way or even slightly out, however you want it. And make it just a tiny bit so that it's on top of our envelope. And there we go. Now we got a pile of mail on here. Because when I do houses like this, I like places that feel like somebody actually lives here. And the rest of what we're going to do here is nothing but placement. We'll put some books down and some flowers, and that'll be about all that we're going to do with the desk. Go ahead and do the flowers now. I'm looking for that. Thankfully, most of the plants scale very small. And of course, you can save a lot of items by just using open and close scrolls. And then, okay, we have an open book here. And then we're going to make a jar here with some little pencil jar to go with our quill. Now I like the Movan 4i for just about everything. Which is kind of odd because I really don't like pink. But this little vase, well, is handy for so many things. And that's, of course, a steel pickaxe. And some brooms. Just because the broom handle has that little bit of blue on it. A lot of people use brooms for paintbrushes, and there we go. We'll just use one, and then we'll make a little bit of a D. The actual X. Take this whole thing and put it up there. And for desks and vanities and a lot of other areas, I really like these pointed elven chairs. I normally don't morph chairs because the chairs that are available very readily are very easy for me to just drop down. So there's our desk. We've got some stuff on our desk. And now let's finish out this sideboard, and then on the last episode we will go ahead and finish the bedrooms. Primarily the master suite. Okay, I found my set. I'm going to load it in the original location, just like we do everything else. I start these out just by flipping everything to the 180 and then lining it up, and then I go ahead and make the final rotations. What I want to do is kind of spread this out so that it's not overwhelming the space. And we'll load it up. Looks like we might be able to fit all 6 on here because we've got 6 chairs. Yeah, 6 chairs at the dining room table. I had to double check for a second. And then one of the things that's might give us a problem is going to be how much light is pushed out by these candles. 1 second, I need to get some more shields. Okay, so over here I don't try to keep a whole lot of surplus stuff. I try to get only what I'm going to need, and so therefore then I run out of things, just like we have. And so then I spend a lot of time back and forth from the bank to the auction house. So now, once we got these in, kind of space them out a little bit more. somewhat. Try to get them equidistant. Okay. So our cups here are just some white candlesticks and Kalari vases. We're going to try to center them on these plates. That's not working as intended. There we go. Okay, so there we are. The light from that isn't too overwhelming, more than likely because it's actually kind of dark in here, and these lights are small, and they're not all piled one on top of the other. So to finish this off, we'll go ahead and put my favorite vase up here, sink it down a little bit, and one of my favorite plants, the lady fern. And then we'll shrink it down. And there we go. Huh. And now we've just finished this whole little corner over here. Might put another stand with a light or something over there, or just some little closet thingy to eat up that floor space. Depends on how we're looking once the bedrooms are finished. So here we are, we're almost done, and we'll be back for episode 10 where we finish out these bedrooms and then do an overall recap. Again, this is Fiendish with the Dimension Touring Company. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.